Guys, so much for coming in, which was a little bit of a trek for you guys because you're in the middle of a huge tour, aren't you?
Yeah, we are. We're really glad to be here. Thanks for inviting us into the studio.
Thanks so much for making time to come into the studio. So I met Windborne at the Farm Folk Alliance Regional Midwest Conference. They were one of the featured artists there, and I was there scouting out the open mics for the weekend. But I had to get to know these folks and be able to bring them into the studio so I could share it with our West Michigan listeners as well. So thank you again for coming in. Where exactly are you guys all? You're from Vermont currently, right? Living in Vermont?
Well, we're actually all currently living in Massachusetts, but we consider Vermont to be our home. This is Lauren speaking. Lynn and I grew up in Vermont, and we've all lived in Brattleboro, Vermont at various points, and this is actually the first time ever in Windborne's history that none of us have lived there. So even though our mailing addresses are in Massachusetts, we are a Vermont-based band at heart.
All right, great. Well, before we talk a little bit too much and make people go, well, like, all that too much talking, let's hear your voices. Let's share a little bit of music with these folks. This is Windborne, you guys, here on 88.1 FM WYCE.
Song lower classes.
We plow and sow, we are so low that we delve in the dirty clay, till we bless the plain with golden grain and the vale with the fragrant hay. Our place we know, we are so low down at the landlord's feet. We're not too low the bread to grow, but too low the bread to eat. We're low, we are so low, yet from our fingers glide the silken flow and the robes that glow round the limbs of the sons of pride. And what we get and what we give, we know, and we know our share. We're not too low the cloth to weave, but too low the cloth to wear. Down, down we go, we are so low to the hell of the deep sunk mine. But we gather the proudest gems that glow, and the crown of the despot shines. Whenever he lacks upon our backs fresh loads he deigns to lay, we're far too low to vote the tax, but not too low to pay. We're low as to war we go, to fight some foreign country that was yesterday our greatest friend, but today's our enemy. God bless our boys, the papers scream, praise them the churchmen cry. When the war is won and home we come, who cares if we live or die? We're low, so low into boats we go, to flee war in our home country. And we'll try to make a better life when we land across the sea. But it's send them back, the press cries out, back to where they came. We're far too low to feed and clothe, but not too low to blame. We are so low, but soon we know that the low folk will arise. The tyrants in their towers of gold shall hear the people's cries. No more shall they hold us in thrall, their lies we will not heed. But every heart shall hear the call, and the people will be free.
Are you blown away in their haze? Well, hopefully some of those folks out there that are listening right now might recognize that song because it did go viral not too long ago, and I'm glad you guys sang that one because I did kind of mention it a little bit right before I came into the room. I played a song by Rising Appalachia called Speak Out, and I wanted to bring up the subject that you guys did sing that song in front of Trump Tower. Thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah, we sang it in 2017, and just in January, right before the also continued with the last
So now
couple
you
of
guys
years.
are really big about educating people, and so I'd like to let you share a little bit about that, trying to explain to people what it is that you do.
Well, we think it's very important for people to understand the contexts of songs, whether it's songs from our own culture or songs from other cultures, because we also sing songs in a number of different languages from a number of different traditions around the world that have vocal singing in various forms, especially harmony singing. And so for us, taking those songs out of context, it's important that people know and understand those contexts and understand what the words we're saying mean. And also ones that are even in English, it's important to understand history and have a sense of these songs having passed. And the struggles of today are not new. They are continued struggles from the past and draw strength from those who have come before us.
Excellent. Thank you so much. For those of you just listening in, this is Windborne here on 88.1 FM WYCE. This is our open mic segment we do every week at 11 a.m. Windborne is Lauren Brunig, Will Thomas Rowan, Lynn Mahoney Rowan, and Jeremy Carter Gordon. Thanks again, you guys, for coming in studio with us and performing for us. What's the next song that you guys have prepared for us?
So we're going to sing you one of the songs from other countries and cultures. We're going to go to the south of France this time, and it's going to be a song that's not actually in French. It's in a language called Occitan, which was once widely spoken through the southern part of France into parts of northern Spain, northern Italy. Today it's only spoken by about 1% of the population, but nevertheless there's still people doing lots of cool work in those folkloric traditions. This is a song that we were inspired by a group called Le Corps de la Plano, which is Marseille's leading a cappella disco folk band. And they write these wild arrangements of traditional
Did you
music.
say disco folk band?
That is.
I
that
love
is what
this.
I said. A
We kind of
cappella.
made up
We
that
need this in our world
description.
music section, Hayes.
We made up that description, but it's accurate.
It's very
All right.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a song that's a traditional song telling the story of an old woman, La Vieille. And she's about 80 years old, and she decides that since she's never tried it before, she's going to go get married. And she does what any of us would do. She goes to a dance, strides up to a strapping young lad, and says, "Would you like to get married? I can make you as rich as a merchant." And he's not so sure, but he says, "Well, let me see your teeth first." And that makes her laugh, and she opens her mouth and shows him both of her teeth. And then one of them falls out because she's laughing too hard. But he decides being as rich as a merchant sounds kind of nice. They go home, they drink some lovely wine, there's a beautiful wedding on the Monday, and unfortunately there's a very sad funeral on the Tuesday. In the end, it turns out she might have had the last laugh as when they read out her will, he's crying as she only had the money of a small child.
Oh.
It's called La Vieille, the old woman, and it's in Occitan.
Di Paris, la una vieille, comme ça c'est oui, chantant, comme vous, comme ça c'est oui, chantant, comme vous, mais la vieille c'est vaillée dans son, ça c'est le prochain galant, comme vous, ça c'est le prochain galant, comme vous, mais les dix galants c'est m'espouser, if I reach my chantant. Even I reach my chanton, Americano, lauter Engelskajam, dam dam huzo, lauter Engelskajam, dam dam huzo med. Lugano på Tollaviejo, alla glada Santa, dam dam huzo, alla glada Santa, dam huzo med.
Anueli fai
Belvede Blanco, em pare gana loto, dam huzo, em pare gana loto, dam huzo med. Se la sposado, ludi malentera, dam dam huzo, ludi malentera, dam dam huzo Now I'm not taking John, tam tam huzo. Now I'm not taking John, tam tam huzo.
This is Windborne here on 88.1 FM WYCE. You guys are phenomenal. I just love it. Thank you again.
so much.
Thank you. If you guys would like to check out some more information about them, they have a website, www.windbornesingers.com. That's Windborne with an E on the end, by the way.
And know you if you're tempted to
I did.
Anglicize it.
I tried so hard. I don't know why. My head just wants to get in there. Anyway, you guys have a lot of stuff coming up. You're going to Lansing next, right?
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have
The 10-pound fiddle?
10-pound fiddle in the evening, and we're also doing a lunchtime concert series, the Our Daily Work, Our Daily Lives, with the Labor Studies Department at MSU.
Excellent. And then you guys are off to, let's see, Comins, Michigan, Traverse City,
Yep.
Marietta, Ohio, and then Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and beyond.
Then
You
we'll
got-
be home for a few days and then a little bit more touring on the East Coast. So we've got a busy schedule all the way up through December.
You do. Well, hopefully we can get you back in Grand Rapids again sometime
We're
soon.
hoping so.
After you get a little bit of a break. Maybe a little bit of a breather would be nice. And perhaps warmer weather would help too.
Yeah.
Well, we're from New England, so this isn't anything new for us.
Well, that's good. That's good to hear. All right. Well, thanks you guys again for coming in. What's the next song we got going here?
So we're going to do another piece that falls in our sort of social justice category, songs of social struggle. And a lot of the pieces that we do are much older pieces that are many hundreds of years old. But this is actually a new composition by our friend Joe Jenks, who's a great singer-songwriter. I'm sure you've played him on the show before.
Yes, and I've heard you play this song before too, so I'm loving that you're eager to do this. So thank
Great.
you.
Yeah, and so it's a piece, his piece, Lady of the Harbor, and our vocal arrangement that we've made with his blessing. And Lady of the Harbor, of course, refers to the Statue of Liberty.
From far away and distant lands, the tempest tossed with hopeful hearts and calloused hands, reach for the light, the torch held high, and cast their gaze upon the Lady of the Harbor, and she welcomes them with open arms. She says, "Let my children in. Shine on, shine on, oh you Lady of the Harbor." And so it was, our families, they sailed from Poland, Britain, France, and Germany. Their earthly cares packed in their bags, they cast their gaze upon the Lady of the Harbor. knocking down the borders, and we're filling up the jails, and we say they don't belong. How conveniently do we forget that we've all come to sing the same sweet song. Will the dream survive the strain? Will huddled masses have a chance to learn its sweet refrain? Or will we fall into our fears and turn our backs against the lady of the harbor? No, we'll welcome them with open arms and say, let her children in. Shine on, oh you lady of the harbor, oh you lady of the harbor.
That was absolutely beautiful. In fact, I got confirmation from somebody who just texted me and is like crying. Which I did too, a little bit. And the very first time I heard you guys perform that song brought streaming tears down my face.
Well,
Just beautiful.
Speaking of tears, when we got to sing this for Joe, who wrote it, he cried, and then we started crying, so it was crying all around.
Yeah, I bet. It is just stunning, you guys. So well done. See, I lost my train of thought. Oh, now I remember what I was going to say. I want to know how you guys met. How did you guys all get together?
Yeah, well, it's a long story, but the one really congealing factor for us was a program called Village Harmony, which is based in Vermont but runs camps for teenagers and adults both in the U.S. as well as around the world, teaching music from places that have traditions of harmony singing. So they'll bring, not only they'll hire teachers from the U.S. who are versed in, Appalachian ballad singing or other styles that are from the U.S., but also teachers from places like Corsica or the Republic of Georgia or Bulgaria or South Africa. They'll bring them to the U.S., as well as taking study groups around the world to learn the music where it's sung. And it's a program that we all went to as teenagers and that Lynn and Will and Jeremy now all teach for.
That's wonderful.
And it's really had a really profound impact on our lives. And villageharmony.org is their website for anyone out there listening who might be interested in hanging out all day with other people that also want to sing all day.
Oh, yeah. I know a lot of people around here that would like doing that. Just that.
It's unauditioned, and it's for teenagers through as old as you go. So it's
All right.
it's
So I
program
can
for
go.
You can go. You should go.
All right.
Yeah,
Love it.
you could come with me and Lynn to Lithuania this summer.
Ah, really? Is that an official invitation? Because I'll pack.
It's an official invitation to anyone listening, too.
Well, fantastic. You guys are going to Lithuania.
Yeah, Will and I are co-leading a camp with Village Harmony there with Arturas is the other leader from Lithuania.
Oh, that is so wonderful. You guys are just fantastic. Thank you again for coming in,
You're
making
fantastic,
time for us here in Michigan. And like I said, I hope we can get you back in here again real soon. I think we have time for one more song, I believe. Is that a good possibility? Yes, sir.
Yes, so we'll end with a Québécois tune, a French-Canadian tune. It's called Les Tisserands, which means the Weavers, and it sort of goes through the weekly schedule of Weavers in Quebec. On Monday, they have a big party and do a lot of drinking. On Tuesday, there's a hangover to be had from Monday. So on Wednesday, they once they're done with the hangover, they go into the studio and set up the loom and just sort of plan everything out perfectly. So on Thursday, they're ready to go visit their girlfriends. And then Friday, they do a little bit of weaving. And on Saturday, it's not done yet for some reason. So on Sunday, it's time to go back to the customer and ask for a little bit more money.
We were just in Quebec a couple months ago, and we can attest that this is all true.
Les tisserands font plus que les évêques.
Les tisserands font plus que les évêques.
Le lundi se font une fête.
Petit pétard, petit pétard, petit trop gros, petit trop fait. Je te lève le matin.
En
Windborne here on 88.1 FM WYCE. Again, thank you guys so much for coming in studio. You can find their music at www.windbornesingers.com. And they're going to be in East Lansing here on Friday. If you'd like to catch them live and in person, head on down there.
Yeah, please come and see it. And you can also find us on Facebook and Instagram at Windborne Singers. So.
Awesome.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you guys again for coming in. And thanks to Deckham Productions for sponsoring our studio, making this all possible. Thanks to Hayes Griffin for running the board in there. And thanks to Mr. Shane German also for helping out with the board as well. We're going to get right back to the music here on 88.1 FM WYCE.